o'clock, why don't we get started?
Craziness, so.
You'll see on the screens behind me, we'll be doing a little raffle later, so you haven't talked to Sam to get your entry in the raffle. Please do that at some point, but why don't we jump in? I'm kind of excited about today's meeting. I want to get through the content, I want to get through the timely manner. We know that the room will fill in as we go, but let's start at 11. So, welcome to Connection Point. This is Keller Williams. This is why this is Keller Williams. It's our belief system. Here to tell us a little bit more, Mr. Brent Beachel. Oh, there you go.
We got it.
So good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Let me ask you a question. How many have ever heard of a guy named Earl Nightingale? Okay, so let me just say for all the rest of you, Google him. Listen to, he did a what was considered to be at the time gold record of the strangest secret. It is a fabulous thing. And it will help you with real estate and your life. It's one of those unique things that you'd love to be able to be involved in. Well, let me tell you, today is June 6th, and it's D-Day. The largest wartime event that took off, and a part of that is what Earl Nightingale talked about. You know, Earl Nightingale was one of the survivors when we were attacked on December 7th. He was on the USS Arizona. And he was one of the survivors, and not many survived. And he says this: people with goals succeed because they know where they're going. Do you know where you're going in real estate? You know, on D-Day, they had to know where they were going to get to Omaha Beach and all the rest of those spots, because it was foggy. They couldn't figure it out. So, you know, you got to know where you're going. Well, that's a part of our Y4C2Ts that we see. That should be our goal each and every day, to help us succeed, not only for ourselves, but for our clients. So what I like to always do is have everyone stand up. We're going to repeat our Y4C2Ts together. Are you ready? Here we go. Win-win or no deal. Integrity. Do the right thing. Customers, they always come first. Commitment in all things. Communication, seek first to understand. Creativity, ideas before results. Teamwork, together everyone achieves more. Trust starts with honesty. Equity, opportunities for all. And success results through people. Great job, you guys. Sit down and let me give you 3 quick things of KW culture. And of course, it always has to start out with that very first one. Win-win or no deal. That's pretty important, because that creates success for all of us. It creates it for every side of a transaction. You got to have a win-win in order to close the deal. You know, the buyer wants maybe a big credit, and the seller wants to get the most money. How are you going to make that a win-win? That's very important. Can you make it a win-win? If you can, that's great KW culture. So the second thing of great KW culture is this: you want to do the next right thing by considering that other person's viewpoint. You got to do that before you respond. And how important is that? It'll help create that win-win situation. And it's always a good goal to have success. And that is the second thing of great KW culture. The third thing of great KW culture is this: you want to listen before you act. You want to try before you quit. You want to wait before you criticize. And as Mo Anderson says, you want to be nice, because kindness matters. Today more than any time ever, right? That is great KW culture. And with that, I hope you guys have a great culture week.
Let's get into our new listings, our events and announcements, and then new listings. So we got our monthly IVAR meeting coming up tomorrow, Wednesday, June 7th at 9 a.m. We got some great breakfast burritos there. And we got our guest speaker, Rancho Cucamonga City Councilman and IVAR Realtor, Ryan Hutchinson. Do you have any insights into that, Brent, for us?
Ryan's a great guy, and you know, it's like any one of us. if he's gonna run for office, wouldn't you all wanna have him represent you? That's the same way with Ryan. He's a great guy and he represents the city of Rancho Cucamonga, but he's got bigger visions than that. And he wants to help our Ivar realtors. So come on in and hear him speak.
Yep, awesome. Good deal. So check that out. That's tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. And then Ignite is every Monday and Thursday from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. We just started a new session of Ignite. Got a good class coming through this time. I was excited about what I saw in the room and the potential for business that's in that room. So if you are not capping yet, you need to be in Ignite, because Ignite is where you learn the foundational models of Keller Williams, and those models are designed to get you to cap. So that is 9 a.m., 12 p.m. Mondays and Thursdays. We may not be in this Thursday. I'm not 100% sure if we're on the schedule for that one. So check with Sam.
We are.
We better be.
Are we?
I thought so.
I will not be in town, so
It's the 8th, right?
I have no idea.
Yes, yeah,
Okay.
I think, Alice is teaching there.
Alice is teaching that. Is Alice teaching that one?
No.
Is Brent teaching that one? All right, you've got Brent Beachville. Okay,
We
so
get 2 agents for the price of one.
there you go. All right, so it is absolutely happening. Brent
Hey,
Beach is
Alice,
teaching that
me
one.
too
So
that day.
very good. Okay.
Yeah, get my
Father's Day barbecue. You're invited to celebrate KW Dads. Tuesday, June 13th. That's hosted by Tim Moreno. So that will be our team meeting next week. Is our Father's Day barbecue. So check that out. And then our mentorship minute. We've got Ray and Jen. And what do you have for us this week on the mentor minute?
Mentorship is on fire. Every day I come in the office and I see people here. I see Mitchell here, and I'm sure more. But Brandon just closed his first deal.
All right. Very cool. Brandon Rimmer.
He's a part-time. He has a full-time job. He's on fire. Closed his first deal, and now he's working on getting a couple extra.
I love that. And you know, that's the difference. You can have a part-time job and be very successful in real estate. You cannot do real estate sometime though. You have to work real estate like it is a part-time job. If you don't show up, you don't get paid. Jen, what do you have to add?
3 weekends in a row, mentees are doing open houses.
Nice, very cool.
And they're picking up people.
Absolutely, wonderful. Yeah, so do the work, guys. This is the work that generates business, right? So keep it up. Well, cool. Anything else from our mentors?
Actually, one more thing on one of Jen's people, Sophia, she did an open house, and she's like on fire now. She's only had her license like yesterday. So.
Yeah. Let's say, like,
She doesn't even know the buyer's interview yet.
Wow. Yeah.
Hello.
There you go. All right. Very cool. All right. So our new listings. Listings are gold right now. As we get into our market update, you're going to see this story is very important. But so here are the new listings that we have available in the office. Just listed 4-bedroom, 2-bath. This is 1,498 square feet for $670 from the Hungerford team, and that is in Ontario. If you have more questions, ask Tyler about it. But that one just came, won't last long at that price point. We've got 4 bedrooms, 2 baths, $455,000, also Hungerford team. That is out in Hesperia, and it looks like it's Hesperia. So talk to Tyler for more that one. And then also from the Hungerford team, 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, $655, and this is Park Avenue, Loma Linda. So again, more information, check with the Hungerfords. And this comes from Jasmine Moreno, 2 bedrooms, 2 baths, 1,188 square feet for $185,900. Now it is in Blythe, but $185,000. Oh my gosh, that is quite.
It's for all the hunters.
What's that?
That's for all the hunters.
Okay.
Dove
Well,
hunting
Blythe
season
is-
starts
My
September
husband,
1st.
Jeff,
Okay,
and it's
yeah.
September 1st on Blythe every year.
Wow, that is not. Wow, I did not know.
Thanks for
There you
having
go.
us. We're
All right.
Yeah.
So,
there you go.
if you want
Brent and Brian.
a dove hunting Airbnb. That's your
There it
option.
is.
But $185,000, great price point. And then we've got Kevin Allen and the Restory team, 4 bedrooms, 2.5 baths, for $738,000, and that is here in Riverside. So get in touch with Kevin for more information. Coming soon. And then another just listed from Christine Simonson, 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, $615,000. I don't see Christine in the room. So that is in Corona. $615,000 in Corona is a great price. So more information, talk to Christine. Cool. Well, that brings us to our market update. Yeah, Rose.
I do have a listing up on North Highland.
Okay.
It is a 5-bedroom, 3 full baths with a loft.
Cool.
Really nice property, that will be coming up on the market this week, for $815,000.
All right. So give us that one more time. $815,000, and what were the features on that one? How many bedrooms? How many baths?
It's 5 bedrooms, with
Okay.
a bedroom downstairs and a full bath. Of course, living room, dining room. Also on this property, there's going to be an estate sale.
Okay.
Or it could be part of the purchase. They have beautiful vintage Chinese, furniture that
Okay.
is up for sale. So they have a beautiful dining room with a chinette and, grandfather clock, living room, and everything in the house must go. Everything, I mean, every little single thing is gonna go into that, from that house.
Okay, so talk to Rose for more information, but that's coming soon, coming later this week?
Yes.
All right, good deal. Well, that brings us to our real estate market snapshot. So what I really wanted to do today is talk about the state of the market and really focus in on what are the activities you need to be doing right now and the story you need to be speaking into your database and out into the world, right? Because the only reason to know the data is so that we can tell the story. Because there are a lot of people out there who are telling the wrong story. You might be one of them, right? And so we want to look at that real closely today. So prices. Real quick, what do you think's happening with prices? What's the national story about prices? Do you know?
Sawing up.
Yep, the national story on prices is it's down, right? Now, is that an accurate picture?
No.
Okay.
From 2 months ago, yes.
From 2 months ago, maybe. Is it an accurate picture in Los Angeles?
No.
It is in certain parts of Los Angeles. If you're looking at the upscale market in LA, prices are absolutely down. Why? LA just imposed a tax on properties over 5 million. And so that just came into effect. And so that segment of the market's down. Is the market up in San Francisco? Nope, it's down. Why?
Because they were so overinflated in prices.
They were overinflated, and where are the layoffs right now in our economy? The tech industry. And what is Los Angeles? The tech not Los Angeles, San Francisco, the tech industry, right. Are prices up or down in Austin?
Down.
Down. Why?
They're still in the pre-pandemic price,
It's-
inventory.
Well, the same tech industry, right? And so when the national news is saying prices are down, they might be down overall, but you have to look at where and why. San Francisco is down because of the tech industry. Austin is down, tech industry. Los Angeles down. You've got the mansion tax going on, right? So in a micro way, yes, and that affects the overall picture. Are prices down in Riverside? No, right? And so your clients are hearing a different story because they're hearing the national and they're not reading the whole story. So prices, let's take a look at what's happening with prices in our market. So this is Riverside, Moreno Valley, Norco, Eastvale. And these are May prices. What you will see is May 2022, our average price was $663,913. May 2023, our average price is $661,368. Are those down prices?
Adjustment prices.
I mean, that's just barely anything. That could be one house that threw that off, right? Look at the chart, and what you're going to see is, yes, we saw a little dip, right? But where are we compared year over year? We're right there, right? And on the trajectory right now, is it going up or is it going down? It's going up, right. So what is the story that we're gonna tell based on this slide? Prices are going up, absolutely. Yeah, average sales price is on the way up right now. If we look month over month, it's up from April. If we look from April, it's up over March. It's up over February. It's up over January. The last 6 months, prices haven't done anything but climb, right? And year over year, we're just where we were, right? So, and everything points to those are going to continue to go up at this point, right? So that's a story you need to be able to tell because it's not the story your database and your clients are hearing. It's not the story that your nervous sellers are hearing, right? They're hearing the macro story of prices are down in the West. Well, yeah, throw out Los Angeles, throw out San Francisco, and guess what prices are? Coming up, right? So we want to know that story. Listings, what's the state of listings right now? What if you were going to talk to me about listings, what would you say right now?
They sell in multiple offers in just a few days.
Yeah, multiple offers, just a few days. Yeah, it is absolutely a seller's market once again. And so we're seeing that multiple offers over asking. Is it, what else would you say about listings? Yes?
Well, we made an offer on a coming soon and negotiated that, and we're in escrow and it hasn't even come on the market yet. It's still in coming soon.
Yeah.
So we got it right away.
Right. So you actually had buyers making an offer on a coming soon. So that's a sight unseen. They couldn't get in, right? So pending inspection, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, that tells you a story about listings. Look at the numbers. So this is our active listing count, and this is for year over year. So you can see our active listings are way down. And I'll bring the number up in just a second, but this is what competition looks like right now. And so if you're a seller, this is the best news you could ever have, right? Because the law of economics is what? What is the primary law of economics?
Supply and demand.
Supply and demand, absolutely. What do we see about supply right now? It's crushed, right? It's totally crushed right now. And so, the name of the game for real estate agents is get the listing, 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 right? Now, what's the story for your clients? I want you thinking of that right now, because this is a great story for you to be using in your conversations wherever they're happening. But I want you to start thinking about that as we go through this. This is our active listings, Riverside, Moreno Valley, Norco, and Eastvale. Cool. New listings. And this is something that I think is really interesting to look at. So that was our active listings. The numbers going down every month, every month, every month. We did see a little bump the last couple months, as compared to December, right? But what would you describe our new listing inventory like right now, looking at that chart?
Increasing.
Pretty flat,
Increasing or flat?
fairly flat.
It's increasing compared to December, but compared to last year, we're really flat. To kind of give you some perspective, in May of 2022, we had 715 new listings hit the market. In May of 2023, we had 384, right? So traditionally in the real estate market, we think of this as the spring thaw or even now the summer season. And so the expectation in seasonality is that the numbers go up. Right now what we're seeing is it's staying really flat from January. From January on, we really don't see, we're not bumping over 400. We're getting up, down, up, but overall it's a pretty flat number. Okay, so again, what's the story? What's the story? Right, well, we're thinking about selling, but we don't know, we might wait till this, we might wait till that. Well, hey, you could, but I can tell you right now that your competition is gonna be less right now. You're gonna have more buyers looking at your property right now. And if you wait, I can't guarantee that's gonna be the future. Expired listings. It almost looks like this one's giving us the finger, I'll be honest. I saw that and I thought, well, that's not nice. Expired listings. What's your story right here? What are you seeing?
So notice that the finger
Yeah, there you
is
go.
in December,
Right.
which is when December 31st, a lot of stuff expires, right?
Mhm.
That's why January 1st is such a big day for calling expires.
Yeah.
But from there, look at what you have. People are looking, distressed sales, all of that. We're not seeing that. We're seeing that the market has dropped off from there. It's people are expiring and giving up until rates get better, things get better in the market, and we're gonna see a very flat time frame here. There's not, again, supply and demand. Supply's low, demand is low. Everything is slowing down. That's what the Fed did by upping the rate. They're trying to slow the economy down.
Right.
They're being successful.
Right. So we're not seeing things expire largely at all. I mean, if you look at the number, in May of 2022, we had 27. So it was really low in May of 2022. May of 2023, we only have 48 expireds. Traditionally, that is a very, very low number of expireds. So what does that tell you about the power of listings right now? They sell, right? They're absolutely gold, right? And so if you want to get what's the easiest way to get a paycheck in real estate right now?
All you do is share it.
Get a listing, right? Get a listing. That's it. That's it. Easiest way to get a paycheck is get a listing, right? Because only 48 in Riverside, Moreno Valley, Norco, and Eastvale, pretty much the entire swath, only 48 expired last month, right? So that is a massive, massive, if there's a red flashing light that says get a listing. Yeah, Rose.
I would think that those numbers would change because I've heard that there has been a lot of cancellations as well.
Yeah. Now cancellations is different than expired,
That's what
right?
I'm saying.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
might have canceled even before it expired.
Right. Yeah.
So I'm thinking that probably would be a whole different number.
Yeah, maybe if you included cancellations with
Right.
that. Cancellations are different though because people cancel for a lot of reasons. right? The expireds just failed to sell, cancellations, they just decided not to sell. And so, you could argue both ways, but yeah, you're right. Market is moving very quickly still. So sales, right now, would you say buyer's market or seller's market? Seller's market, yeah, I think we have to say that. We have to say that, and let's take a look at the data right now. If we're looking total sales numbers right now, in Riverside, Moreno Valley, Norco, and Eastvale, we have 508 total sales in 2022. We're just about 100 sales under that of 409 in May of 2023. So again, you're looking at these numbers and you're saying, are we seeing seasonality? Yes. We are seeing sales numbers increase. Now this, just what I want you to look at here though is, this is what we have to really take into account, right? So we're seeing the number of sales increase month over month. It is climbing as you'd expect in seasonality, right? We would always, this is the spring thaw, and so the number of people looking to buy a home is higher right now than it is, say, in January. That's a good thing. And so the overall number of sales is going up. The problem is this data right here. Again, if the number of sales is going up, we had 409 sales last month, but we only took 384 new listings. What does that tell you about competition?
We're stripping the market. I mean,
stripping,
there's
yeah.
not enough homes coming on the market.
Yep, totally. And so that's the issue we're going to run into is the buyer demand. Again, what's the primary law of economics? Supply and demand. Demand is there. Supply is not. So if someone says to you, you know, we're going to wait, we think the market's going to crash. Is it?
No. Maybe.
How could it? Right? Because supply and demand is so high. You'd have to have demand just completely change. What could change demand?
9/11.
9/11? Yeah. A massive disaster could change demand. And it's happened. I'm not rooting for it, but you know, the black swan, the thing you can't predict, right? What else could change demand right now?
Collapse.
Collapse? What do you mean?
Just the market collapse based on politics.
Yeah, okay.
Whatever's going on.
All right.
Bans, you know,
What else? What could change demand? What's the easiest thing that would change demand? Interest rates. Yeah. If rates go up. Brandon, what's going to happen with rates this year? What's your estimate on that?
I think they're gonna hold where they're at, probably until the end of the year, and then hopefully next year start to come down.
Yep. Why would they come down next year?
I would probably recession, I think job loss is gonna be key.
Okay, yeah. We're starting to see the economic situation in the United States deteriorate a little bit, right? As I mentioned, we're seeing layoffs in the tech sector. What we're also seeing across the country is that companies are holding employees that they don't have work for right now. I just heard this on the news this morning, that there are a lot of companies that are overstaffed, but they're hesitant to let go of the employees because they had such a hard time getting them back after 2020. But if there are companies that are holding on to employees, but they don't necessarily have the work for it, is that going to go on forever? No. As the economy slows down, we're going to start seeing some layoffs, right? Layoffs could lead to a little less demand, right? Interest rates, if interest rates come down, that'll bring demand back up. But there's this whole picture. Right now, however, there's nothing pointing towards a massive crash in the market, right? Because the reality is demand is incredibly high. And that's a demographics-driven number. Why is demand high right now? Where's that demand coming from in your mind? Who are the people buying those homes for the most part?
Net sellers?
What's
Net
that?
buyers? Net buyers?
What's that?
Net buyers, like people that sold their home and downsizing or upsizing?
Okay, yeah. People who are sold, not trying to buy. Who else? Who's
Renters.
Renters.
Rents are going up high.
Absolutely.
You know?
Millennials,
Yeah.
right? Millennials who are now finally having children, right? Does that make sense? Like they're as a demographic group, they're just getting into the pool now, and so they're realizing that the apartment isn't sustainable anymore, or that they want to start having that mortgage write-off, right? And they're eager to get into it. The millennials are the largest generation since the baby boomers, right? They're not going away anytime soon. They're underhoused. And so while we have a lack of inventory of resale, we actually have a lack of inventory just in homes across this country. And so I would argue there's not really anything pointing towards a collapse in the real estate market at this time, right? So what's your story, right? This is really what I wanted to get to. What is your story that buyers need to hear right now? Do me a favor, partner up with each other, find 2 or 3 people, have a conversation. What's a story that your buyers need to hear right now? Ready, Mark, get set, go.
Go.
You guys need more time? One more minute. I'll give you one more minute.
Thank you.
All right, good. So, tell me about it. What's the story buyers need to hear right now? Story buyers need to hear. Brent?
It's okay to buy.
Yeah? Yeah, it's okay to buy, right? What's the story buyers are telling you right now?
I'm afraid.
I'm afraid.
They're
What's the
waiting
other
for
story?
rates to come down.
I'm gonna wait for rates to come down? Okay, sure.
I'm
Right?
gonna wait until properties get, lower.
I'm gonna wait for prices to come
A lot of buyers
down?
think that it's gonna come
Yeah,
down.
absolutely. They think prices are gonna crash, or the market's crashing right now, right? And that's that national news story we talked about. It's not the news story locally. Throw out markets like San Francisco, Austin, Los Angeles, New York, and what you see is a totally different picture. Yeah, so what's the story they need to hear? It's okay to buy. Why is it okay to buy right now?
Well, if you think about it, I have two escrows with millennials right now. One of them was nervous, and last year he didn't want to pull from his 401k because he didn't think it was the right time. That the interest rate's going to go down, whatever. But they got some money, whatever, and they could do it. And even though he was nervous, I said, you're paying somebody else's mortgage, number one. Number two, even if you take money out of your 401k, this investment from your home will bring you more return than you will ever see from your 401k in a shorter amount of time.
Could. Yes,
Could.
yes,
It will.
yes.
Basically, they're young. He's got
Right.
$50,000.
Right,
You
yeah.
know what I mean? So
Right.
at any rate, they just need to hear, and the interest rates are, I mean, historically, you keep going back to that, they're still not that high. They're really not high.
Right.
And you're gonna get your return on investment, even if you sold your house sooner than 30 years. Most likely, unless we have a crash.
Right, right.
Which is not likely, but could. But anyway, they need to just know this is the right time, do it now.
Right, absolutely. The sooner you get into property, the more time you have to get equity in that property. And the biggest determiner of long-term wealth is, do you own property? Period, right? And so that conversation of, hey, you're paying off a mortgage right now. You're just not paying off yours, right? So would you rather be paying off yours or someone else's, right? That's a great conversation. What else? What else is the story buyers need to hear right now?
Can I just say?
Yeah.
Your wording is so powerful when you talk about you can get wealth. Do you know the difference between wealth and being rich? Shaquille O'Neal is rich.
Yeah.
Jerry Buss, who paid him, he's wealthy. So it's perspective in that. And they can get what they call generational wealth by investing in real estate. If they don't sell and they pass away in the home, the kids get that. It's passing it on. And so, no parent wants to be a burden to their kids. And so think about it, if they are given that opportunity to pass on that wealth that they have, that's a pretty powerful thing, that word itself.
Yeah, Jen.
I think it's important to share with people that just because California is so hot and not taking contingencies, the rest of America is taking contingencies. So this is a great time to move out of California and do a contingency on that property so you know where you're going, especially if you're doing a 1031 exchange.
Right. If you're looking to move out of California,
That's right.
this is a great time to do it because you're
Yep.
going to maximize your money here and you might have a better buying situation.
And they'll take your contingency.
Right, absolutely. True, very true. Cool. So, to the new home buyer, why is it a good time to buy? Because the faster you do, the more equity you're going to get. You're going to start paying off your mortgage, not paying off someone else's mortgage, right? And the chance of you losing everything in real estate, you're not going to lose everything in real estate, right? Even if the market crashes, has there ever been a home that was worth zero? No. Have there ever been a stock that was worth zero? Yes, right? So that's that conversation. Cool. All right, well, let's talk about sellers because, sellers are absolutely, I'm missing a few slides here. Okay, sorry. Sellers and practice telling, let's talk about sellers. What's the story sellers need to hear right now, right? That is, in my mind, the more important story. Because the truth is, if you can get a listing right now, you have a sale, right? And we've been talking about this. I mean, this is not new. We've been here since 2020. That listings sell, listings sell, listings sell. There will come a market when you may be carrying 5 listings, and you're waiting for things to sell. They've been on the market for 60, 70 days, right? There may come a market. It always does. We just haven't done it in a while. Right now, we need listings. That's the story. So based on the numbers that we just looked at, what's the story that your sellers or potential sellers need to hear, the people in your database need to hear? Talk to each other. You got 5 minutes.
Okay, so now it is. What story did you tell me?
Whether or not we're priced. We don't have, and just thinking about showing or showing it to the open house, we don't have an offer within 7 days. We are listed. So that's a way to go. You kind of put the ball in there where like, I know what I'm doing, where I'm working, so I'm positive that I will work hard for you to get your home. So we need to know if we're not priced correctly or coming in because there are buyers out there and my others.
Okay, coming back.
ended up selling a house for actually 2 minutes.
Come on back. So, what's the story sellers need to hear? What is the story? What's the story that people in your database need to know or hear about selling a home in this market? Anybody want to come out? Nothing? Okay.
What
What's
is
the
the
story?
story?
Yeah, it's on the screen. Yeah.
What is it? We can sell your house.
Yeah, you can sell your,
Your
house
house is gonna sell
right now.
fast, and it's likely to sell for what we're asking in most areas.
Yep, cool. What
And
else?
you need to know, where's the seller going? What's their commitment? What's the emotion? Or the whole thing's gonna fall apart anyway.
Right, so you need to know about them, absolutely, we'll get to that in a second. But broadly, what is the story that sellers need to hear right now? What is the story your database needs to hear right now? Yes?
It's summertime and inventory is not that high. It's the best time to sell.
Yeah, demand is incredibly high, inventory is incredibly low. So this is the best time to get the best price for your house at the least hassle. Where would you go, right? If you could get the highest price on your house possible, where would you go? What would you do with that? Right, Brent reminded us of that last week. Right, that's a conversation. A conversation I have with the seller right now. I don't know if you know this, but we're getting multiple offers on almost everything right now. So have you thought about selling? Right? Yes, Jen?
Ray gave, who's Ray? I learn from Ray all the time. He gave a great tip last week. If you all have a farm or in your own neighborhood and a listing, not yours, just sold, why not find out from that listing agent, hey, congratulations on your close, how many offers did you get? Let's say it was 6. Start door knocking and say, hey, there is 5 other buyers that want to live in this neighborhood that want to buy. Are you thinking of making a move?
Mm-hmm.
So that's a great tip. From Ray.
Absolutely. Can I ask you a question? Like, so this is something we really want to be aware of, though. The story that we are telling sellers, sharing with sellers, is different than the story we are sharing with buyers, right? And if you get those two things confused, what you've just done is totally demotivate your buyers, right? So that's really important. So as we're having those conversations, when someone says, hey, tell me about the real estate market, if you say, oh God, it's a terrible, and if you're trying to be a buyer right now, so much competition, it's a positive, it's a positive, positive. So how could you tell that story in the sidelines of a soccer game in a way like, when someone says, so tell me about the real estate market, what's your next question?
Why are you asking?
Why are you asking? Absolutely. Because if they're thinking about selling, that's the story. If you're thinking about buying, you're not going to say, oh my gosh, it's crazy, multiple offers, people's hair's on fire, right? That's not a great story, right? So why are you asking? Well, we'll just make a small talk. Great. Then I'd go into the listing story, right? Well, do you currently own a home? Go to the listing story, right? But so knowing who you're talking to is really important, right? And I'm not saying that it's the same story, right? Is it a good time to buy? It's a fantastic time to buy. Why? Because we're seeing prices go up. Rates are historically low, right? And the truth of the matter is, if you're paying a lease right now, you are paying off a mortgage. It's just not yours, and you can probably pay off yours for less. So why don't we start building your own personal wealth, right? That's a story. It's a good story. It's a true story. That's why it's a good story, right? If you're a seller, is it a good time to sell? It's probably never been a better time to sell, right? Because you're going to sell quickly with the least hassle, and you're going to have to make the least amount of concessions, right? So have you thought about selling? Right, those are the conversations we need to have. Yes?
If you're doing, say, a social media post where you are speaking to a broad audience, how would you bring those two together?
Yeah. If I was speaking to a broad audience, a social media post, I would say exactly what I just said, pretty much. I'd say, hey, if you're looking to buy, this is a great time to buy because rates are historically low, and the truth of the matter is, if you're paying a mortgage, are you paying a lease right now? You're already paying a mortgage. Probably get you to pay one less on your own property. Now, if you're on the selling side, it's a great time to sell because prices are up and homes are selling quickly, right? And I just wouldn't get into the multiple offers as much, that kind of thing. Sam, yeah. But I might just do 2 posts. Yes.
This is the best time to buy and sell.
Yeah. Tell me about it, Sam.
Well, that's it.
That's it.
All right, that's all you needed to hear.
Create curiosity to get called.
Yeah, make it short and sweet.
Sure, yeah,
Yeah.
just like that.
Ask me why it's a good time to
Yeah.
buy it or sell it. Just
Yep.
when they
What
come
you
to-
don't normally
Yeah,
hurt
that's
you.
what I'm saying.
What's that?
What you don't normally hurt you.
Right, yeah.
Call me.
Best time to buy or sell, call me and find out why. Right? Let's talk and I'll tell you why. So, this is something we've got to practice. Right? We've got to get good at telling the story, because if it bleeds, it leads. Right? And so the national news story is not the one that's going to help you generate business. It's the one that's going to get the most clicks. And the one that's going to get the most clicks isn't prices are rising in Riverside, California. It's prices are down nationally, right? That's so you know, what you can do that the national media cannot do is you can actually talk to people, right? You can get past a headline, but you can't do it unless you're willing to actually go talk to people. And you won't do it right unless you've practiced it, right? So we have to practice telling that story. And so today, I'm going to land the plane here early. It's remarkable. What I want you to do is grab your lunch, and I want you to practice telling the story. Start role-playing with each other. Have conversations at the supermarket over lunch, or at soccer, or at church, or at Rotary Club, or whatever, and have that conversation. Hey, Chris, how's the real estate market? You know what? What's going on? Why are you asking, right? Or hey, are you interested in selling, right? Well, you know, we always, whenever somebody asks about the real estate market, what do we do to them? We throw up on that, right? Hey, how's the real estate market? Blah, real estate. Hey, Chris, how's the real estate market? Well, that depends. Well, tell me what's going on. Are you thinking about selling, or hey, you looking to buy a house? What's going on with you? Right? Ask the questions. Get good at that, because if you're not, you fumble the ball, right? So practice telling the story. Practice asking questions, because the truth is, right now we've got to be actively prospecting. There's no passive real estate market right now. And there have been markets where you could passively accept business. That is not this market. It's an active prospecting market. You have to tell the story. You have to ask questions. You have to ask for business, right? And you have to focus on the demographics that are most likely to sell right now. It's funny, I was listening to one of the national guru coaches on the way in, and you know what he said?
What?
Pull a list of people who've been in the home 30 plus years, 20 plus years, they're probably paid off, start calling those people. Have you heard that before?
Yeah.
I feel like I've been saying that like on repeat, right? I think I got it from Sam originally. I got a class a couple years ago when, you know, it's the same stuff, right? So focus on the demographics, and this is really important. Pre-qualify your buyers. If you are working with buyers, don't waste your time driving people around who cannot close on a home. Pre-qualify them with lenders that you trust. Otherwise, you are wasting your time, and your time is too valuable to waste.
100%.
If you are a listing agent, cross-qualify the buyer. I can't tell you how many times I've heard on the phone on our call lately, it just fell out, but that's okay, we're going to put it back in. The buyer just fell out. You don't want the buyer to fall out, right? You want to close. So cross-qualify the buyers. We're back in that market. Cross-qualify, cross-qualify, cross-qualify. Cool. Well, hey, I am just back. Lead generation is the job of every business owner. I'm going to move on from that. Our sponsor today, Brandon Bedoin from Secure Choice Lending. Brandon, come on up. Yep.
Hi guys, for those that don't know, I'm Brandon with Secure Choice Lending. I am a mortgage broker, so that means I work with lots of wholesale lenders. And that I help find the best product and the best pricing for your clients. Been doing this for about 8 years. I'm co-owner of Secure Choice Lending. Very flexible, easy to get a hold of, and anything and everything you could think of, I've probably tried to do that or have implemented that. I'm very big on transparency, so as far as using Mortgage Coach to show loan scenarios side by side, letting them know here's what FHA, conventional, down payment assistance looks like, and then kind of diving in from there. So I like to show them all the options. Statistically, it's been proven that if you show people 3 or more options, they're more likely to trust you. So earning their trust early on is a big goal of mine. And then we always kind of zone in on what they're looking at. So one of the big things I always get is they come to me from a different lender and they just said, hey, you're pre-approved for $500,000 or $650 or whatever it is. and that's it. I'm like, okay, was it FHA, conventional? A lot of times they don't know. Or another big complaint I get is no one showed me or talked to me about down payment assistance. I don't do a whole lot of down payment assistance. I do have that option available, but usually just having that conversation with them makes them feel better knowing if it's a viable option or not for them. So being able to do the whole gauntlet, show them scenarios visually, side by side, and then zoning in on what works best for them has gone a long ways for me and my clients. And guys, there is no shortage of demand on buyers wanting to get into a home. Yes, they're scared, but if you hook them up with the right lender or person to talk to them about those fears and objections, they'll most likely see the light at the end of the tunnel. So I'm constantly having that conversation of, you know, maybe you could tap into 401k or get a gift or something like that, or use down payment assistance to get you over that hump, or hey, maybe we use a temporary buy down or buy down the rate permanently so that you could handle the payments and we can meet your budget goals. So I definitely have a lot of objection handlers ready to go. So if you need somebody that needs to talk to your buyers and educate them, because that's my big thing is I sell on education. I'm not trying to, you know, pressure anybody. I like to do follow up and go at their pace. What else to say? Right now, I think I have about 6, if not 7, that will close in June, and then there's still more people to come that I'm working with, and it's like I said, there's no shortage. There's still a lot of people looking to buy. I think now's the time because a lot of people are getting out of school, their kids are getting out of school, so definitely have those conversations. If you need help with any of that, I'm more than happy to call your buyers and follow up with you as I have more information available. Real quick, does anyone have any questions about rates or anything else in the industry?
How much is it today?
What was that?
How much is it today? Right.
Interest rates, they've been going on the higher side lately. The debt ceiling crisis didn't help very much, but since we reached a debt ceiling agreement, we have seen some relief. So I would say conventional, depending on the term and FICO and stuff like that, you're going to see anywhere from mid-6s to mid-7s. And then FHA, I think you're going to see, you know, low 6s to mid-6s for FHA. So, anything else?
The plan of next year, you're thinking though that it'll come down off of those numbers.
Yeah, so my thinking for interest rates right now is, the big talk is what is the Fed going to do next week? So they're going to meet again and they're going to decide if they want to raise the Fed rate or not. And 3 weeks ago, before the debt ceiling crisis and inflation numbers, we were pretty adamant that this is going to be the last one for the year. Everyone was really excited. We saw an improvement in rates. But over the last 2 weeks, we've seen the opposite. It's now a 67% chance that the Feds are going to raise the Fed rate another 25 basis points. So that's going to directly affect auto loans, student loans, HELOCs and stuff like that. They bake this kind of stuff into the mortgage rates. I think that's why we've been seeing quite a bit of a slide to higher rates recently, is because we were thinking that they're going to raise it. But hopefully it'll be one of the last ones. They could keep going. But the real reason to me is, I mean, does anyone here outside of mortgage, you know anybody that's lost a job? I don't. I think the job market is very stable, and I don't think that's going to, inflation is going to change much of any until we start to see job losses. And I think we've been focusing too much on inflation numbers, because we've seen 10 months in a row inflation numbers come below expectation or come back better. So the inflation numbers are there to support lower rates, but we haven't seen that. I think the Feds are really looking at the job market to say, okay, well, unless people are losing their jobs, we're not going to see a typical recession that we normally do. So why are we going to lower the rates? Usually they lower rates to help in a recession. And we haven't hit that job loss count yet to cause for that. So that's what I think. Previously, if you would ask me 6 months ago, oh yeah, this time June, it's going to be rates coming down, we might see 5s. But I think that's a far cry from where we're currently at. And I think we should see these rates hold probably till the end of the year. And if we're lucky, we'll see things get better next year.
So if we're seeing the prices of homes are increasing and they became more the demand is high, and we don't see what they thought it would happen, meaning the price is gonna drop. So the feds, they have no choice but to increase it a little bit to cool it down. And I think you hit it right on the head. They are focusing on the wrong place.
Yes.
I think they really are.
So, and a lot of my information I put together and I put in a weekly rate and market update. If you're not already getting that email from me and you want that, just reach out to me, I'll put you on the list. And I try to summarize it, because it is a little lengthy and it's a little overwhelming at times, but some people like that stuff, some people don't, but if you want it, I have it. And I like to educate myself on it because it's a great way to overcome objections. The more you know, the better you could talk to your clients. Anything else? All right, so lunch isn't here yet, it's on its way, should be here shortly. It is Juan Pollo, so chicken and tortillas. And rice and
Potato
beans.
salad.
Perfect potato salad, yeah.
Well, that works perfect with my plan. Thank you, Brandon. Good, then hey, here's what I'd love to see while we're waiting for lunch is practice telling the story. Find somebody in the room and have small talk with them about real estate right now. I mean, practice making a phone call to somebody in the room in your sphere and have small talk with them about real estate right now. Practice telling that story. On your mark, get set, go. And then when lunch gets here, you can leave too, but we'll judge you.